Have you ever wondered what it would take for Elon Musk to cancel a SpaceX launch? The answer might surprise you. It wasn't a technical glitch, a safety concern, or even a government mandate. It was something far more unexpected and heartwarming. In the next few minutes, you'll discover how a simple act of human kindness snowballed into a decision that would impact thousands of lives. You'll witness the power of social media to create real-world change, and you'll be challenged to rethink the true meaning of progress and innovation. The gentle hum of fluorescent lights filled the hospital corridor as Sarah, a dedicated nurse at Starlight Children's Hospital, stood motionless, her fingers hovering over her phone's screen. The weight of countless young lives pressed upon her as she contemplated the message she was about to share with the world. Starlight, once a beacon of hope for sick children, now teetered on the brink of closure, its doors closing to more and more patients each day due to dwindling funds. Sarah's eyes darted to a nearby room where Emily, a young patient with a vibrant spirit, lay asleep. Emily's treatment had been cut short, another casualty of the hospital's dire financial situation. The nurse's heart ached as she recalled the look of confusion and disappointment on the child's face when they explained she had to go home early. With a deep breath, Sarah began to type, her words carrying the stories of Emily and so many others. As her thumb pressed the send button, Sarah's tweet began its journey through the vast digital landscape. At first, it moved slowly, a ripple in an ocean of information. But as more people encountered Emily's story, that ripple grew into a wave. Local community members shared it, their hearts touched by the plight of the children in their own backyard. Soon the message spread beyond city limits, catching the attention of influencers and celebrities who amplified its reach. The tweet's momentum built rapidly, each share adding urgency to the hospital's situation. News outlets, always hungry for compelling human interest stories, latched onto the narrative. Sarah found herself in front of cameras, sharing Emily's story and those of other families affected by Starlight's struggles. The nation watched as parents tearfully recounted how the hospital had been their last hope, now slipping away. As the story went viral, trending nationally, it caught the eye of someone unexpected, an advisor to Elon Musk. The man sat in his office, his gaze fixed on the screen before him, torn between his professional duties and the stirring of empathy in his chest. The SpaceX launch, a pinnacle moment for the company, was mere hours away. Musk was known for his laser focus during these critical times, brooking no distractions. The advisor's finger hovered over the forward button, much as Sarah's had done earlier that day. He knew the risks of interrupting Musk now, but the outpouring of support for Starlight Hospital moved him deeply. In that moment, he made a decision that would set in motion events beyond his imagination. With a click, he sent Sarah's tweet to Elon Musk, not knowing how it would be received, but hoping it might spark something extraordinary. The SpaceX launch site hummed with anticipation, a palpable energy crackling through the air as engineers and technicians moved with practiced precision. Years of work and billions of dollars had led to this moment, a milestone launch that would propel their mission of interplanetary exploration forward. The towering rocket stood as a testament to human ingenuity, its sleek form reaching towards the heavens it was destined to explore. In his office, Elon Musk sat before a bank of screens, his mind unexpectedly divided. The tweet about Starlight Children's Hospital kept resurfacing in his thoughts, a persistent undercurrent beneath the tide of launch preparations. His phone lit up with messages from his team, confirming that all systems were go. The launch window would open in just a few hours, yet Musk found himself scrolling through the responses to Sarah's tweet. The stories of families affected by the hospital's struggles touched something deep within him. Parents recounted how Starlight had been their last hope, now slipping away. Children like Emily, whose treatments were cut short, faced uncertain futures. Each tale was a stark reminder of the immediate, tangible impact of the hospital's work, a contrast to the long-term, abstract goals of space exploration. As Musk prepared to head to the control room, he felt the weight of two worlds pulling at him. On one side, the culmination of his lifelong dreams of advancing humanity through space travel. On the other, the immediate needs of children fighting for their lives in a struggling hospital. The juxtaposition was jarring, forcing him to question the true meaning of progress and innovation. In the control room, the energy was electric. Screens displayed a countdown timer, each second bringing them closer to ignition. Musk took his place, outwardly focused on the launch, but inwardly, a battle raged. The faces of the children from Sarah's tweet flashed in his mind, their hopes and fears as real and immediate as the rocket poised for liftoff outside. With less than an hour to go, Musk's advisor approached him, sensing his boss's inner conflict. "Sir," he said quietly, "we still have time to make a different kind of history today." The words hung in the air, heavy with implication. Musk looked at the countdown clock, then back at his phone where Sarah's tweet was still open. He took a deep breath, the weight of the decision pressing down on him. In that moment, Musk realized that the power to change lives wasn't just in pushing the boundaries of technology, but in recognizing when to redirect that power towards immediate human needs. The rocket outside represented years of work and immense resources, but so did Starlight Children's Hospital in its own way. Years of care, hope, and lives saved. Back at Starlight Children's Hospital, the hallways echoed with a mix of hope and desperation. Dr. Amelia Chen, the hospital's director, walked briskly through the pediatric ward, her white coat billowing behind her. The weight of countless lives pressed upon her shoulders as she passed by rooms filled with young patients fighting battles far beyond their years. In her office, Dr. Chen sat heavily in her chair, her eyes fixed on the latest budget report. The numbers stared back at her, cold and unforgiving. Without a miracle, Starlight would have to close its doors within months. She rubbed her temples, trying to ward off the headache that had become her constant companion. Down in the oncology ward, Nurse Sarah worked tirelessly, stretching their dwindling medical supplies as far as they could go. She carefully measured out medication, knowing that every drop counted. The thought of having to discontinue treatments due to lack of funds made her heart ache. Sarah's gaze fell on Emily, the young patient whose story had sparked a social media firestorm. The girl slept peacefully, unaware of the storm brewing around her. In the emergency room, the atmosphere was tense. Parents comforted sick children as wait times stretched into hours. Dr. James Rodriguez, the head of emergency services, moved from patient to patient, his experienced eyes assessing each situation. He longed for more staff, more beds, more of everything that could help these families. But resources were scarce, and difficult decisions had to be made every day. The pediatric ICU hummed with the steady beep of monitors. Some of the equipment was outdated, held together by the ingenuity and determination of the maintenance staff. Nurse Maria Gonzalez checked on her patients, her gentle touch and soothing words a stark contrast to the harsh reality of their situations. She whispered a silent prayer for each child, hoping for a breakthrough that seemed impossibly far away. As Dr. Chen made her rounds, she passed by empty rooms that once housed vital services. Each closure felt like a personal failure, a step backward in their mission to heal and protect. She paused to comfort a crying mother, her own heart breaking as she struggled to find words of hope that didn't feel hollow. Suddenly, Dr. Chen's phone buzzed with a news alert. Her eyes widened as she read the headline, hardly daring to believe it. Elon Musk cancels SpaceX launch, pledges support to Starlight Children's Hospital. The words blurred as tears filled her eyes. She read it again and again, her hands shaking. Within moments, the hospital erupted into a flurry of activity. Words spread like wildfire through the halls. Nurses hugged each other, doctors shouted in disbelief, and even some of the young patients sensed the shift in energy. Hope, long absent from these corridors, began to fill the air. As the news of Elon Musk's decision rippled through Starlight Children's Hospital, a palpable shift in energy swept through the corridors. The air, once heavy with despair, now hummed with a newfound electricity. Dr. Chen stood in the middle of the pediatric ward, her eyes glistening with tears of relief and disbelief. For the first time in months, she allowed herself to imagine a future where she wouldn't have to turn away sick children or cut short life-saving treatments. In Emily's room, Nurse Sarah gently woke the young girl, her voice trembling with excitement as she shared the news. Emily's eyes widened, a spark of hope igniting in them that Sarah hadn't seen in far too long. The child's weak fingers tightened around Sarah's hand, a silent testament to the impact of this unexpected turn of events. As words spread beyond the hospital walls, the true power of Musk's decision began to reveal itself. It wasn't just about the money, substantial as it was about the ripple effect of inspiration that followed. Within hours, other tech giants began reaching out, their representatives flooding Dr. Chen's office with calls and emails. The question on everyone's lips was the same: how can we help? In the emergency room, Dr. Rodriguez watched as his team moved with renewed vigor. The weight of impossible choices that had burdened them for so long seemed to lift, if only for a moment. He overheard snippets of conversation, dreams of new equipment and expanded services that had seemed like fantasy just hours before. But amidst the jubilation, a sobering reality remained. The influx of support was a lifeline, not a cure-all. The staff knew that the real work was just beginning. How would they allocate these new resources? Which programs would they prioritize? The questions were daunting, but for the first time in years, they felt like challenges to be tackled rather than insurmountable obstacles. As night fell, the hospital settled into an unfamiliar calm. Parents held their children close, whispering promises of treatments that would continue, of hope that had been rekindled. In the quiet of her office, Dr. Chen began to draft plans for the future, her pen flying across the page as she dared to dream big. Yet even as optimism bloomed, a thread of uncertainty weaved through the hospital. Would this cosmic intervention be enough to keep Starlight's doors open for good? And perhaps more intriguingly, what unexpected alliances between medicine and space exploration might emerge from this pivotal moment? The world held its breath as the news of Elon Musk's decision spread like wildfire across the globe. Social media platforms exploded with hashtags and trending topics, all centered on the unexpected turn of events. Financial analysts scrambled to assess the impact on SpaceX and its investors, while the stock market reacted with volatility, reflecting the uncertainty of the situation. At SpaceX headquarters, the atmosphere was thick with tension. Engineers and executives huddled in small groups, their voices hushed as they discussed the implications of the canceled launch. Some felt a surge of pride in their leader's compassion, while others worried about project delays and potential job impacts. The hallways buzzed with a mix of excitement and apprehension as employees grappled with the sudden shift in priorities. Meanwhile, at Starlight Children's Hospital, the transformation was nothing short of miraculous. The corridors that had once echoed with whispered worries now rang with laughter and hope. Nurses embraced each other, their eyes glistening with tears of joy. Dr. Chen stood in her office, her hands trembling as she reviewed the flood of emails and calls pouring in from other tech giants, all asking the same question: how can we help? As details of the funding emerged, plans for hospital renovations and equipment upgrades began to take shape. The possibility of reopening closed departments became a reality, and the staff dared to dream of expanded services and cutting-edge treatments. In the pediatric ward, young patients like Emily listened wide-eyed as their parents explained that their treatments would continue, that hope had been rekindled. The media circus intensified with each passing hour. Reporters camped outside both SpaceX headquarters and the hospital, their cameras trained on every entrance and exit. The world was hungry for more information, more details about the decision that had captured global attention. Yet Elon Musk himself remained relatively quiet, issuing only a brief statement that left room for speculation and debate about his motivations and the future of his companies. As night fell on this extraordinary day, Dr. Chen found herself alone in her office, poring over plans for the hospital's future. Her mind raced with possibilities that seemed impossible just hours ago. She couldn't shake the feeling that they stood on the precipice of something truly revolutionary. Could the same materials used to shield astronauts from cosmic radiation be adapted to protect young cancer patients during treatment? The answer remained tantalizingly out of reach, a missing piece in the puzzle of modern medicine. The first rays of dawn crept through the windows of Starlight Children's Hospital, casting a warm glow on the bustling corridors. Dr. Chen stood at the entrance, her eyes bright with anticipation, as she greeted a team of financial advisors and healthcare consultants. The air buzzed with a renewed sense of purpose, a stark contrast to the heavy atmosphere that had hung over the building just days before. As the team made their way through the hospital, the signs of transformation were already evident. In the oncology ward, shelves once bare now brimmed with life-saving medications. Nurses moved with a newfound spring in their step, no longer burdened by the need to ration treatments. The relief on the faces of patients and their families was palpable, a silent testament to the impact of Musk's decision. The emergency room, once a scene of constant crisis, now hummed with focused efficiency. Additional staff bustled about, their presence immediately improving wait times and the quality of care. In the pediatric ward, young patients like Emily watched wide-eyed as state-of-the-art medical equipment was wheeled in, replacing the outdated machines that had limped along for years. Yet, amidst the excitement, Dr. Chen couldn't shake a nagging thought. As she pored over plans for reopening shuttered departments and expanding services, her mind kept returning to the conversation she'd had with a SpaceX engineer the night before. The discussion had centered on the materials used to shield astronauts from cosmic radiation, and a wild idea had taken root in her mind. Could the very technology designed to protect space travelers hold the key to revolutionizing cancer treatment? The possibility seemed almost too good to be true, yet the potential was staggering. Dr. Chen's fingers trembled as she scrolled through research papers on her tablet, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As the day wore on, the impact of the funding became increasingly clear. Patient outcomes improved, staff morale soared, and word spread quickly through the medical community. Starlight was fast becoming a beacon of hope, drawing inquiries from top medical professionals across the country. But even as Dr. Chen reveled in the immediate improvements, she couldn't help but wonder about the future. The unexpected alliance between space exploration and medical science held the promise of reshaping healthcare in ways she had never imagined. What other solutions had they overlooked in their relentless pursuit of traditional answers? The setting sun cast long shadows across Starlight Children's Hospital. Dr. Chen stood at her office window, holding a research paper on cosmic radiation shielding. The connection between space exploration and cancer treatment had sparked a revolutionary idea. Dr. Chen's fingers traced the diagram of a spacecraft's protective layers, imagining how these materials could shield human cells from tumors. She turned to a photo of Emily, the young patient whose story had inspired this journey. The weight of responsibility settled on her shoulders. Her computer chimed with an incoming video call from Elon Musk. Dr. Chen, I hear you have a groundbreaking idea, Musk said, eyes gleaming with curiosity. We could adapt spacecraft radiation shielding for targeted cancer treatments, Dr. Chen explained. Nanomaterials programmed to seek out and neutralize cancer cells with unprecedented precision. Fascinating, Musk leaned forward. What obstacles do you foresee? Funding, for one, Dr. Chen admitted, and translating space technology to medical applications. We'll need a multidisciplinary team. I'm willing to invest, Musk replied, but we'll face regulatory hurdles and potential public skepticism. As they delved deeper, the conversation flowed from astrophysics to molecular biology, two fields converging in unexpected ways. This could revolutionize our approach to medicine, Dr. Chen mused. Musk nodded. And the advancements could feed back into space exploration. It's a win-win. As the call ended, both felt renewed purpose. The journey ahead would be challenging, but the potential to save lives made every obstacle seem surmountable. This collaboration could reshape the future of medicine and space exploration, bridging the gap between the stars and the human body. The ripples of Elon Musk's decision spread far beyond Starlight Children's Hospital. As Emily and other children continued treatment, the collaboration between SpaceX and the hospital led to groundbreaking medical innovations. Musk's choice challenged others to reconsider their impact, inspiring people worldwide to make a difference in their communities. Months later, Emily walked out of Starlight, cancer-free. Her smile reflected the power of unexpected connections. As she looked to the stars, she knew that the greatest leaps for mankind often begin with a single act of compassion, right here on Earth. The story of Starlight Hospital became a beacon of hope, proving that innovation and compassion can work hand in hand to create a brighter future for all.